Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Let me know if the music is too loud. I will turn it down. Just let me know, because fresh game, and I'm just going off of what I usually have it set to. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. And look at that, we're finally back to something that we've done for quite a while and been putting on hold for a bit. Finally going back to some Grisaia. What Grisaia? Well, one of the extra stories that kind of piggybacks with Labyrinth. There's two of them, and we're going to start with one today. Should be able to finish it today, because it should be relatively short. And we'll do the other one tomorrow. So for today, we have the Afterglow of Grisaia. The Steam page literally says recommended to play after playing Labyrinth. So, yeah, that's why I kind of waited. Also, this like menu music, guys, it's actually kind of baller. I'll be honest, it's actually pretty cool. Leisure just used the Fruit of Grisaia music, I'm pretty sure, just the regular theme. This doesn't bother with Labyrinths. This goes with something totally different, and I love it. Oh yeah. Finally get back to a proper visual novel once again. A little short, but this is like... I'm calling this our little prelude before we do eventually start Eden of Grisaia. Whether or not the stuff that happens in here will have any kind of relevance to Eden, I don't know. More than likely not. Just like Leisure had no bearing at all on anything. This is just fun extra. Anything to pad out the completed games list, you know? Anyway. Let's actually see, what is, how long do they say should take to beat this? Time to beat Afterglow of Grisaia. About an hour and 3/4. Alright. So yeah, we'll definitely get it done today. 100% then. It's going to be one self-contained story, so there's not going to be choices. There shouldn't be any other extras or stuff like that, so this will be done fairly quickly. So yeah. Oh, for anyone that missed it last night, we did build the Red Gundam. I love this thing already, a lot. I did a little bit of minor panel lining and filling in some dark spots on it. You can't really tell from the camera right now, but... yeah, you can't tell too much. But there are some spots that have got things on them. Just to kind of bring out a little bit more of the detail and break up the red. Just a tiny bit more. But I've been liking this thing. I like it a lot. Alright. Yeah. Yeah. That's all. That's like, I don't got anything else special to get into this. It's just more Grisaia, you know? This game series I've come to really like. I was very on the fence about it when I started and how it was going, but now I'm like, dude, I fucking love this series. So yeah. Alright. I'm just gonna start it so we can get right into it and see how it goes. There is something I did notice though. I did kind of preemptively turn down music and sound effects and stuff in the options. And there was one thing I noticed. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Our only two narries we could have are either Asako or JB. So Yuji's gonna be speaking. Like, actually speaking. I guess I only have to do the narration parts. I don't have to do the spoken word parts. Also, we get to finally hear what Yuji's voice sounds like by the VA. It's like, no, the anime for Fruit had come out by this point, I'm pretty sure. So he has a VA. I guess this is just the first time they decided to use him for the games, which is kind of cool. Also, it's just less I have to do, which is better. I'm so glad. I'm okay with just doing narration. I'm totally fine with just narration. Ah, crap. I undid everything I did. Ah, fine. There, I'll just go with that. That works. Alright. Alright, enough dicking around. Let's just get into this and, you know, see what the Afterglow of Grisaia has got for us today. Looking at his reflection in the rearview mirror, beside the driver's seat of his taxi, Ueda Suichi tries over and over to pluck out the hairs he missed when shaving. He usually picks up customers like a normal taxi driver, using the company's car. Hey Nick, how's it going, buddy? Once in a while, however, he's ordered to drop off packages or people, as though the company just happens to remember he's around from time to time. If it's a package, the job is over when he drops it off. If it's a person, he must also sometimes wait for them to come back and take them home. It's been a relatively peaceful period, despite a few minor incidents, such as the recipient of a package not showing up, or the person dropped off not returning. Pretty good and totally worth the bleh. I'm glad you're doing pretty good. Ueda's battlefield is far removed from the stench of blood and gunpowder. There's also the added bonus of getting additional pay on top of his normal taxi salary. It's not the kind of money to make a man laugh incessantly with joy, but it gives him a measure of peace. So much so that he's developed a bit of a punch. Okay, so he's got a bit of a belly. I get it. It reminds me, I think you missed Michiru's version of oh my god. Well, I have to reinstall Labyrinth then at some point to get that back. Thank you for reminding me, months later. I'll get around to that at some point. I'll try to remember to do that. Thank you for reminding me. Now I gotta remember, did she do it in her... No, she definitely did it in her route. I'm pretty sure she did it in her route. Pretty sure. He can't imagine any greater luxury. Around when he entered the organization, one of his passengers asked him a question. The man had gotten into the car and asked, "Do you mind if I smoke?" Truthfully speaking, he wasn't exactly eager to have his one tool of the trade finally awarded to him by the company stinking of cigarettes. This passenger was an important one, though. A special. And he couldn't afford to get on his bad side. Ueda told him how to use the ashtray. Ueda's displeasure must have accidentally shown on his face. Looking at him, the passenger chuckled as he lit the cigarette. I'm the kind of guy who's happy as long as he can have a smoke. Makes you jealous, huh? At the time, Ueda didn't comprehend the meaning of the man's words. After however many years working for his current employer, though, he found that he was able to understand them completely. To that passenger, smoking was an important luxury, however small. That's how he lives, even now, in a world where smoking could be considered an extravagance. No, there's no way of knowing whether that passenger is still alive today. Will he get to drive that passenger around again someday? To be honest, he doesn't care very much. Fair. At the moment, he has enough to deal with in his own life, and his job isn't for the sort of people who take the time to worry about others. Other people are like the hairs he missed when shaving. If he didn't think that way, he wouldn't be able to keep going. Oh, hi, Yuji. It's 100% Yuji. Oh my god, we're gonna hear him actually talk. We're actually gonna hear him talk soon. Today, he lets another passenger in his taxi. An irritating one. Like those stubborn facial hairs. It's a young man. He sits down in the back seat and falls asleep then and there, his head hanging. He's a special, designated VIP status. Ueda checks him out in his rearview mirror. The legendary agent, Ichigaya 9029. Obviously, Ueda's heard of Ichigaya 9029. He's been in the business long enough. It's also rumored, though, that the organization's cooked up a few of these number 9029s in order to raise morale. There's no guarantee that this one's the real deal. Maybe a skeptical look went unnoticed because 10 minutes later, this so-called number 9029 used some eye drops and he's now hunched over in his seat, not moving an inch. Anyway, it doesn't matter to Ueda whether this guy's the real deal or not. He just wants to hurry up and finish the job and go home. As he's thinking this, trying to pluck out those few remaining hairs, he hears a voice in his earpiece, the sound of which blends with the pitter-patter of rain on the roof of his cab. The radio conversation is purposely conducted using code names. This time, it sounds like the theme is watch brands. Last time, the code names were brands of alcohol. Ueda vaguely remembers that his own team was called Mojito, and the lead team was named Scotch. These code names, in other words, serve as basic signals for identifying each other. Yeah, no shit, we know how code names work, game. In short, should the Omega team succeed at their job, then the second team, Ueda and his passenger, won't be needed. There aren't many jobs easier than this one. With unfounded optimism, he waits to hear the words "Mission complete" over the radio. When his earpiece crackles to life again, though, it isn't what he wants to hear. Friggin' klutzes. He feels like clicking his tongue. Ueda adjusts the angle of the rearview mirror so that he can see 9029, who's still napping. He calls out to him.
Oi, 9029. 出番だ。さっさと起きろ。寝てないよ。
Okay. A lot younger of a voice than I was expecting.
なら無線は聞いてたな。だったらさっさと行ってこい。
分かった。失敗したらそのまま逃げるから。10分待って俺が戻らなかったらあんたも撤収してくれていいよ。
Saying this, 9029 jumps out of the car's back seat and runs around the back of the vehicle. He knocks on the lid of the trunk where his luggage is. Sniper rifle, of course.
開けてよ。
出したらすぐに閉めろよ。荷室に雨を入れるな。
Bruh.
いいから早く。
He releases the lock with the lever beside his seat, and the trunk opens. Inside the trunk is the luggage Ueda had been entrusted with by the company beforehand. 9029 sticks his head inside the trunk, fishing around for the luggage. When he removes the tarp, he should be able to spot the familiar case. 9029 grabs the handle of the case and pulls it out, then shuts the trunk straight away.
じゃあ行ってくる。
お。
Time, 5:37 p.m. The green LED numbers of the digital clock on the dashboard display the current time. Checking it, Ueda furrows his brow. He watches 9029 walk out into the rain. Is he really going to be okay? This passenger doesn't look much like the image of Ichigaya 9029 that Ueda had conjured up, based on the rumors he'd heard about the agent. He looks more like a teenager. With that ragged leather biker jacket and the rifle case on his back, he looks almost like the guitarist in a punk rock band. The way he protects himself from the rain using the hoodie under his jacket, or rather than an umbrella, simply completes the image. He doesn't exude the fiendish aura one would expect of the legendary agent from the rumors. It's true that the organization Ueda belongs to has quite a few young members. However young they are, though, their experiences on the job lends them a sort of ghastliness. Just passing by them is enough to give you goosebumps. But that kid? He seems kind of spacey, and there's no way to tell what he's thinking. He does answer when spoken to, but doesn't really say anything else. At one point, there was even rumors that Ichigaya 9029 was actually a woman, so Ueda had figured he wouldn't be surprised, whoever it turned out to be. This was very different from what he had expected, though. I mean, 9029 used to be a woman. It used to be Asako. Now it's Yuji. Need drink. Maybe I've been duped, thinks Ueda. Maybe his being 9029 is a big lie, and he's actually just a disposable pawn to serve as an excuse if the mission fails. It is then that Ueda remembers the boy having said to leave if he didn't return within 10 minutes. If what he said was accurate, there was a chance that Ueda would get caught in the crossfire if he hung around too long. When he checks the clock again, Ueda notices that 5 minutes have already elapsed since 9029 left the cab. If the instruction to wait 10 minutes had come from headquarters, then it might actually be wiser to withdraw after 5. What should I do? Should I leave? With these thoughts flitting through his mind, Ueda is suddenly brought back to reality by a knock at the window. Surprised, he lifts his head. He sees 9029 standing beside the cab, his hair sopping wet from the rain. Oh, that was fast. Yeah, good lord. What? Did he forget something? Friggin' klutz. When he grudgingly lowers the window, however, what he hears from 9029 takes him by surprise.
終わったよ。
もう終わったのか。
Yuji is a very good shot. Sure, that was way too fast. I didn't even hear any gunfire, ponders Ueda. Lost in thought once again, the crackle of the radio brings him back to Earth. I figured that's probably JB on the other line on the line there.
ドアを開けてよ。雨がひどいんだ。
After opening the door, a drenched 9029 gets in the back seat. You wouldn't know he just completed a job by the look on his face. It's missing that certain expression. He actually looks exasperated. Or rather like he's so sleepy he can barely keep his eyes open. I see. So this is the real deal.
さすがだな。本物は違う。
Saying this, Ueda hands 9029 a towel. He doesn't exactly want the one tool of his trade getting soaked, even if the seats are vinyl. 9029 looks confused for a moment and just gazes silently at the proffered towel. Finally, he takes it and utters a single word.
どうも。
他に言うことはないのか。
タオルありがとう。
いや、そうじゃなくてだな。まあいい。帰るんだろ。どちらまで？
渋谷まででいいよ。あとは電車で帰るから。
ああいいよ。
Okay. Ueda switches the display on his taxi to occupied and sets off. It's almost like he has an ordinary passenger in his cab once again. After some of his usual tricks, turning down various side streets and changing direction twice, Ueda takes the car onto the highway. I guess just to make sure they're not followed or spotted. He then adjusts his mirror to give him a view of the stray in the back seat.
ブースタードラッグは使わなかったのかな。
帰りは電車だから。
Ueda doesn't understand this response right away, but then he remembers having heard that performance-enhancing drugs makes your pupils dilate and induce phobia or a fear of needles. Oh, okay. Apparently, should you ride a train in that state, even the other passengers' noses will look sharp enough to pierce your eyeballs. What the fuck?
サングラスは持ってないのか。
A true professional, Ueda keeps a pair of cheap sunglasses he'd bought at a nearby tackle shop in the dashboard of his taxi. Even if they're cheap, something is better than nothing. If this kid doesn't have any, I'd be happy to part with them. As Ueda's about to raise this, 9029 drowsily turns his head to look outside the car window.
今日は雨だし。
At times, professional drivers like Ueda wear sunglasses to improve contrast, even at night or in the rain. Generally, though, a guy wearing sunglasses on a rainy day would stand out. Not to mention...
まあ、雨の日にサングラスかけてるのはハリウッドセレブか CIA ぐらいだろうしね。
It might just be the relief of completing the job without a hitch, but he starts to loosen up and finds himself becoming more talkative. Seeing as the other guy is so much younger anyway, he feels even more compelled to let go of the tension. Today's passenger, however, is pretty charmless. Yeah, it's Yuji. The dude's a fucking stick in the mud. The dude is an absolute stick in the mud, an asshole, a misogynist, but sometimes he's actually also a really good guy. It actually kind of cares. But you really gotta work to that. Any other time, yeah, he's just a stick in the mud.
あんたいつもこんなにおしゃべりなのか？
Basically, just shut up and drive. That's no fun at all.
この業界、緊張で無駄に喋るやつか全く喋らないやつの二通りだ。俺が前者でお前が後者ってことだろ。喋らないやつの方が長生きするとは言うが、俺はこれまでに3人の寡黙な男が死ぬ現場に居合わせたことがある。
あんたこの仕事長いの？
つうか、あんたっていうのやめろ。
Despite his appearance, Ueda has driven the taxi for a good 8 years and the company's white van for 10. He realizes that he's getting irritated over something fairly trivial. Back in the day, though, Ueda developed some notoriety as the leader of a biker gang in his hometown. For that reason, he retains a strong sense of hierarchy.
お前が何歳で何人やってきたかなんざ知らねえが、年上に対する口の利き方ってもんがあるだろうが。
そういうの苦手だから黙ってたんだけど。
What he struggles with isn't honorific speech, but adopting the correct attitude to fit the person or the situation he's faced with. Ueda was a bit like that too in his younger years. Already past his mid-30s, with hindsight, he knows just how inexperienced he was in his youth. If someone were to ask him, "What were you like back in the day?" he would just laugh awkwardly. Ueda got into this line of work when he was 18, after he got too fired up in a brawl and accidentally killed a guy. Damn. If he'd been a bit more put together than this kid, he wouldn't be where he is now.
何にせよ、お前が本物の902で助かった。
本物？
Upon this reply, Ueda himself realizes he has no idea what he's saying anymore. The real deal? What does that mean exactly? It's not something you can search for. It's something you have to create for yourself. At the very least, that's how it is in Ueda's world. On what basis did I just decide this guy was the real deal? Ueda struggles to find the words. Megan Bailey's dinner, fuck it for me, please. Alright, because you insisted. Enjoy your lurk, Mari, and enjoy making Bailey's din. Hopefully she's been a good pupper today. Hopefully she's been a very, very good pupper. That good pupper you can see and hear on over on Lumimari's channel during her streams, as they like to make many, many appearances, whether actually on cam or just vocal. This is a pupper that is drawn to just, you know, the absolute, what's the word I'm trying to look for here? Just drawn toward a great person. They know they can go to this person if they need anything. Whether that's food, head scratches, or just, you know, someone to sit by to be relaxed with. And you can do that too if you just go to Mari's stream. You might not be able to get the head scratches, but, and maybe not the food, but you just have someone you just feel good around. Go check out Mari. Can't remember how I got myself on that inner elbow. I thought I had something there with that one, then I started losing it, okay? It gets hard after a while. Nine seems to be at a loss for words as well. Looking around as if in search of an answer, he finally mutters a single word.
どうも。
Thanks. Here in Japan, that's a damn useful word. Spend long enough overseas, and you wish it had the same effect there too. Thinking this, Ueda realizes that life must be crueler for this kid than it ever was for him.
お前、今までよく生きてこられたな。
Upon hearing the amazement in Ueda's voice, 9029 looks for a moment like he's searching around for an answer, before smiling very slightly.
俺もそう思います。
At these few words, Ueda laughs abruptly.
今さら敬語は使わんでいいぞ。
As he says this, Ueda has a good idea of what the response will be.
どうも。
He can fucking predict Yuji now. It's exactly as Ueda expected. I see. I suppose that's the boy's charm. Ueda realizes that despite his cheek, the kid has a clumsiness appropriate for someone his age, and that alone gives him a cute sort of charm. Ueda's given up caring about what kind of lifestyle the boy's led, or how many people he's killed. Huh. He must have been scared of him, realizes Ueda. It occurs to him that total strangers ride in the back of his taxi every day, and he talks to them despite having no idea who they are. Huh. So that's it. At this, Ueda ceases his chatter. Without speaking another word to each other, Ueda emulated this ordinary passenger of his. They arrive in front of Shibuya Station without incident.
着いたぞ、渋谷だ。
あ、うん。
The boy flinches at the sound of his voice, and it dawns on Ueda that this time he must have been sleeping for real. The drowsy expression on the boy's face worries him, but the next moment, a little flustered from his sudden awakening, 9029 starts getting ready to step out.
それじゃあ、お疲れ様。
おい、待て。上着を忘れてるぞ。
His leather jacket, sodden with rain, is still in the back seat.
忘れっぽいやつは周りの人間を巻き込んで死ぬ。気をつけろ。
うん、ごめん。
それと、これ、持ってけ。
何？
俺の名刺だ。機会があれば指名してくれ。
わかった。生きてたらまた頼むよ。
If one of us doesn't kick the bucket first. Damn. Is he just saying, yeah, you're kind of an old man, and I live in I do dangerous work for a living. One of us is gonna die.
俺が？お前が？
俺だろうね。
Oh. Okay, so this is really pessimistic, Yuji. With this, 9029 grabs his sodden leather jacket and, with the rain still falling, once again throws it over himself as if it were a raincoat. He blends in with the crowd headed toward the station. Before even 10 seconds have passed, he's completely disappeared. In this business, though, that's not so surprising. Looking around, Ueda can see countless young people wearing similar clothes. It's probably why he asked to be dropped off at Shibuya Station in the first place. Wonder if I'll work with him again someday. As he's thinking to himself and gazing toward the station in a daze, Ueda hears a knock on the backseat window. A passenger. Putting on a business smile, Ueda pushes the lever to open the door and lets a businessman into his car.
どちらまで行かれますか?
I just dropped off a killer and now I'm just taking regular fare. What an interesting little tidbit at the beginning there. Just a little thing. There are things that I loved when I was younger, but began to dislike as I got older. For example, canned oranges. When I was a child, I loved the canned oranges and pineapple my mother brought back from the canning plant where she worked. With just me and my mother at home, sweet things were a luxury. Chopped fruit drenched in sugary syrup was very precious indeed. Oh, this is when they were on the run. This is when they were on the run from his dad before things, went bad. And then he became an orphan. I love those canned oranges, but one day, I asked my mother how the skins were removed. She told me the truth, that the skins were separated from the fruit using an acid alkaline solution. When I heard this, I felt somewhat regretful for eating it. Ever since, I've struggled with canned oranges. Aware that complaining about food is the ultimate vice, though, I was at least thankful that they wouldn't kill me. Yeah, then Heath Oslo happened. I learned, especially after joining the military, that a healthy person can eat just about anything, and I came to treasure that force of will that allowed me to ingest even the worst kind of gruel. As with canned oranges, I just can't bring myself to like trains. When I'm swaying on the train like this, that day comes to mind. Oh. The day that my parents died. The day I was waiting on a bench at the station for my mother. If I hadn't gone back to the house, if I just got on the train, what would have happened to me? Would I have been able to lead a more normal life? Or would I... There's no way to know for certain. No matter how much I may regret it, however, the past cannot be changed. Only that it is certain. Oh, only that is certain, whatever. I close my eyes as though to shake off the past and cut myself off from the world around me. At the bottom of the ocean, where it's impossible to tell which way is up, my consciousness alone drifts languidly by, neither floating nor sinking. It feels similar to the sensation one experiences just before falling asleep. My consciousness begins to fade. Me holding a gun. Me pulling the trigger. I feel like I'm watching myself from a distance. When this happens, I can't do anything to stop myself. I can only watch myself kill. It's always like this after finishing a job. After dragging this feeling around with me for a while, everything begins to feel meaningless. Even breathing feels like a chore. I just want to die. When that happens, I just have to think about my master, Asako. Since I started living with Asako, I've been able to get back to my normal self much quicker than before. I think about trivial, inane things. When Asako first took me under her wing, she brought me along to all sorts of places. In those days, I was often in low spirits, and I couldn't control my emotions very well. Yeah, you're basically a ghost. A zombie, almost. You're just kind of there. Just moving around point A to B. Just, you existed. That was it. Asuko's a goddamn, miracle worker. Managed to fucking put you back together somehow. She had to cheat a little. And maybe, kind of cut a little bit of the pieces oddly to kind of get it to fit in there, but it kind of makes a person again. She did fairly well. She did fairly well. One night, Asuko took me to Yokohama to watch a baseball game. I didn't have any particular interest in baseball, and the limits to Asuko's knowledge of the sport became clearer when she asked, "Wait, how many people do you need to play baseball?" So why did she take me to see it? When I asked her, she simply replied, "Doesn't beer taste great when you're watching baseball?" It was obviously just a whim. Having brought me along to the stadium without asking my opinion on the matter, Asuko went ahead and ordered the beer she'd been craving.
Oi! Beerをくれ!
Jesus Christ, Asuko. The beer girl walking past our seats heard her and came over to us. However, Asuko said something I didn't expect.
いや、お前じゃねえよ。
The beer girl who responded when Asuko called out was from S Beer, but she was coldly turned down. Instead, Asuko called over to a girl from K Beer who was a little farther away. Why not wait for them to get closer then? I thought that all beer was the same. Without realizing it, I'd furrowed my brow at Asuko's actions. She saw this and said to me,
そういうもんなんだよ。
I remember the pained smile she flashed me as she said this. I see. My master is extremely picky when it comes to beer, to a degree that most people wouldn't understand. That's what I thought at the time, at least. However, after living with her for a few years, I realized that I was mistaken. It turned out that as long as it was beer, that woman would drink anything. Now, why did she have a preference then? Whether it's uniquely rich and aromatic, or a light lager as weak as water, as long as it's ice cold, she's got no complaints. In other words, it wasn't that she was drinking, but the atmosphere that was important. As long as she could kick back and drink a cold one, she was happy. Just thinking about that brings a smile to my face. My master is just adorable. Oh my god. Adorable is not what I would describe Asuko as. As long as I can think back to these silly, trivial memories, I know I'm still alright. I know I can keep going. Little by little, my dulled mind begins to clear. Once I regain my senses, I'm able to open my eyes. The first thing that comes into my field of vision is my own arm. On my left wrist is the watch I received as a birthday present from a certain ditzy, talkative woman. JB. JB. It's gotta be JB. Oh! Deemed a writer fact. Okay, been a little bit. Right. Try to think. Oh, holy Moses. Trying to think of a writer fact. Got it. Okay, so nowadays, with Kamen Rider, we expect them to do some kind of pose on the ground, say henshin, and then they'll transform. It was not always like that. The original Kamen Rider, whenever he transformed, he would have to get on his bike to do it, because his belt, I'm pretty sure it's the Typhoon? Yeah, the Typhoon. It needed, like, the wind to go through it to get the props spinning. And he could only do that from the speeds of a bike, from the bike. They had to change that and introduce the henshin pose and everything with Nigo, his replacement. Because Nigo's actor at the time didn't have his license to drive a motorcycle, so they couldn't risk him being on the bike to shoot the henshin scenes. So they just came up with, on the spot, he would just do a pose. He would do a pose on the ground, maybe jump up in the air, and then, boom, he's transformed now. And then when Ichigo came back, they let him do his own pose as well, so he didn't have to always be on the bike. Because, again, Ichigo's actor had to leave the show for a bit because of a motorcycle accident on set during one of the stunts. Because they were doing their own stunts. Yeah, they changed that real fast when their lead had their fucking femur broken, barely a dozen episodes in. So yeah, you can thank Kamen Rider having henshin poses thanks to Nigo not having a motorcycle license. I don't think he had a license at all, actually. It's Japan. It's a little easy to get around in the bigger cities thanks to public transit. So yeah, there be your fact. Nigo couldn't actually ride his motorcycle. I can see the second sub-dial at the 9 o'clock mark moving slowly, but I don't feel the flow of time myself. My head's just not there yet. I change trains a number of times until I'm surrounded by familiar scenery. Not only do I now feel the passage of time keenly, my body also feels very heavy. I suppose that should come as no surprise, since I did wander about in the rain without an umbrella. I just want to get back to the mountain cabin and take a hot shower. I want to get home soon. My mind consumed by that one thought. I march straight ahead, not even bothering to look left or right. It's always the same, our mountain cabin. A place to come home to. Everything I am is here. Before I left for work, Asuka was still in bed, her arms and legs outstretched like a starfish. 5 hours have passed since then. She can't still be sleeping. I know what to expect, though. She's probably lolling about on the living room couch with a beer again after waking up and taking a shower sometime earlier.
ただいま。
ああ、お疲れ。仕事どうだった？
まあ余裕でしょ。簡単な仕事だったよ。
でもお前、震えてるじゃねえか。
Because he was in the rain.
雨に濡れたからだよ。
ほう、そうかい。そんじゃあシャワーでも浴びてきちゃどうだ？
そうさせてもらう。
風呂場で転ぶなよ。
あ？そこまで子供じゃない。
I turned on the shower. While waiting for the water temperature to stabilize, I shed my sodden clothes heavy with rain. Every layer I take off makes me feel lighter. So light, I feel I might float away. I grumble to myself about how bad the rain was, as the shower water warms my cold skin. Feels like all the tension I was carrying is melting away in the hot water. I let out a huge sigh, as if expelling all the stagnant air from my lungs, when my knees suddenly buckle.
お、やっぱそうなるか。おい、大丈夫か？
あ、うん、大丈夫。
I don't know why I fell. The instant I let out that large sigh, all the strength seemed to leave my body with it.
あれ？変だな。
立てないのか？
なんだこれ。
Why do you suddenly have paralysis? I'm not cold anymore, but my knees and my hands won't stop shaking. I feel like my chest is being crushed. It's like every pore on my body is open, dripping cold sweat. Despite the situation, Asuko just gives me a cute devilish grin.
緊張が切れて気が抜けたんだろう。よくあることだ。この商売やってりゃ誰もが一度は経験する。引き金を引く前は集中してるから気にならない。引いた後は興奮しているから気づかない。安全な場所に帰ってきてシャワーなんかを浴びてる最中に、ああやばかったなーって思い出しながらほっと息を抜いた瞬間に不意にガクッとくる。
戦闘中でも気を抜けばこうなるってことか。
Potentially.
戦闘中は大丈夫だ。
Oh.
銃を撃ちながら小便を漏らしても自分じゃ気づかないぐらい集中してるもんだ。
Okay, never mind. Thanks for proving me wrong.
一番やばいのは戦闘が終わった後だ。ほら、戦場で腹を裂かれた兵士が飛び出る内臓を抱えながら10キロも歩いてやっと野戦病院までたどり着いたところで、
Oh
看
god.
護兵の顔を見て安心した瞬間に死んだって話。
Oh god, 10 kilometers holding his insides? Oh god.
ああ、聞いた覚えがある。
それと同じことだ。今日は雨が降ってたからな。自分じゃどうってことないと思ってても思っている以上に余計なストレスがかかってたんだろう。
そっか。まだまだ俺は情けないな。
命のやりとりってのはそういうもんだし、何度も経験してりゃそのうち麻痺する。お前はまだ麻痺していないって証拠だ。
そういうもんか。
不思議なもんで、引き金ってやつは軽くなりすぎると当たらなくなる。お前はそれでいい。
臆病すぎてヘドが出そうだ。
And puke, dude.
よし、ユージ。こっち来い。よくやったユージ。ご苦労だった。
Asuko always holds me tight after saying those words. It's been the same ever since I was little. However much I try to persuade myself that I'm not that kid anymore, it gives me an irreplaceable sense of relief. After her embrace, I rest my head on her lap and have her pet it. I finally begin to regain my composure and get a little fed up at myself for being babied so much. Dude, can I have that, though?
いいか？風見雄二は風見雄二でしかない。それ以上でもなければそれ以下でもない。確かに風見雄二は人殺しの最低
You're
の
a killer and a real bastard.
誰もがそれを知っていて誰もがお前を嫌うだろう。だがお前はそれでいい。誰に嫌われていても構わん。そんなお前を仲間は必要としているし、私が誰よりもお前を愛している。お前はお前の大切な仲間のために生きればいい。私のために生きればいい。それ
いらない。大切な人が俺を分かってくれているのなら他はどうでもいい。
Am I really Kazumi Yuji, though? Is it really okay for me to carry on as Kazumi Yuji?
いいんだ。お前はそれでいい。
Asuko repeats these words over and over as if she's seen through my anxiety. I'm okay the way I am. It's better that I live on. When I hear these sentiments from her, I'm able to be totally at ease. Yes. I'll live for the sake of this woman. I'll become her trigger finger. and I'll pull the trigger in her place. No matter how many times, no matter how many people I kill. That's enough to make me happy. Just like how a cold beer is enough to make her happy. Oh my god. As my mind gradually goes blank, the tremors finally stop. Though I'm grateful to have this woman here with me, I'm also ashamed for the pitiful way I imposed myself on her. The torrential rain ceases, and light begins to trickle out from behind the gray clouds. I had been struggling forward in life without knowing the right path. That's why my knees gave out in the bathroom. But as long as I can think of it as another bridge crossed, I reckon I'll be a bit more confident when tomorrow comes. As the sun begins to set in the sky, that day only grows closer. After that incident, time passes by in a flash. The sun sets as I repeat my usual daily routine. I'm in charge of making dinner tonight. Is JB gonna show up and mooch off you guys? Odds of that happening? Pretty high, I'll be honest. Fridge is stuffed with ingredients. I open it, wondering what to make. Inside, I find the remaining half of a block of pork that Asuko bought on a whim. Ooh, ginger pork. I'll chop up some cabbage from the vegetable garden and garnish it with tomatoes. Do we still have mayonnaise? If not, I'll just throw together some eggs, vinegar, and oil and make some myself. There you go, guys. That's how you make your own mayo. Eggs, vinegar, and oil. As I ponder my game plan, I hear random humming coming from the bathroom. Asuko is soaking in a hot bath, filled to the brim and humming a strange original melody of hers. As odd as it may seem, she sounds very happy. There may come a day when I can't be with her anymore. Just thinking about that makes this happiness feel a little bittersweet. But it's okay. Even if she's not by my side, as long as Asuko's happy and healthy, it's okay. Just thinking back to Asuko's humming today should bring a smile to my face, whatever the situation. The angry roar of a V8 engine reaches my ears from the car park at the foot of the hill, shattering my peaceful reverie. Okay, yeah, JB's coming to mooch on dinner. There's only one person who'd drive up into the heart of these mountains in a top-end Italian sports car. It has to be JB. I can bet she's struggling to park that car, the rear of which you can hardly see when reversing, next to Asuko's F-150. The roar of the engine finally ceases, and I can hear her high heels crushing against the gravel of the path up the hill. She appears at the door, making no effort to hide the displeasure on her face. Okay, JB, why are you pissed off? She lets out a loud huff, but remains otherwise silent as she glares at me, the chunk of pork still in my hand. What? I'm angry. Can't you tell? You should be able to grasp that much at least. Why don't you try racking your brain once more as to why I might be so angry? Don't make me spell it out for you. These words are splattered all over JB's face. Man, is she easy to read.
ごめんよ。
Sorry?
は？何が？
何がって、その。
Bro, you don't even know what you're apologizing for. Well, crap. The words, "You thought I'd forgive you if you just apologized," are painted big and bright on her face.
いやあ JB いいタイミングで来たね。ちょうど夕飯の準備を始めたところだ。食べていくだろ。
No, seriously, what did he do to piss her off already? What did he do to piss her off already?
お腹が膨れれば私の怒りが収まるとでも
No, but I hope it helps.
いや別にそういう意味じゃ。
朝子はどこ？
風呂に入ってる。
そう、ちょっと行ってくる。あなたも逃げちゃダメよ。分かってるわね。
What did I do?
はい。
With this, JB stomps off, every step of hers echoing off the floor. She opens the bathroom door with all the force of a warrant-wielding narcotics officer on a raid. God damn!
ちょっと朝子！
Oh,
あんたまたユージを現場に行かせたでしょ。もうユージはまだ正式なライセンスが降りてないのよ。バカね、カバね、アルパカね。
just gonna keep going, guys.
アルパカ？
Why'd you call her an alpaca? Wait, what kind of an animal is an alpaca? Asako tries to conjure up an image of an alpaca from memory. She looks up at the ceiling and squints, as though she were trying to remove a piece of spinach stuck between her back teeth.
違うわよ。あなたが今想像したのはカピバラ。アルパカってのはほらあれよ。ラクダと羊の中間みたいなやつ。
ああ。っていうか、なんで私の考えてるものが分かったんだ？
Yeah, how did you know
怪
that?
しいやつ。
そんなことはどうでもいいのよ。話を脱線させてごまかそうとしないで。
You're the one who changed the subject, JB. Though Asako was well aware that now isn't the time to say something like that. Reading the room, I'd learned recently from JB that this was a very important life skill.
あれほどダメだって言ったでしょ。どうして資格が取れるまで待てないの？バカなの？カバなの？アルパカなの？
Why do you keep calling her an alpaca?
いや、アルパカではないな。
Oh my god. The Saturday stream looking good? Oh my god.
知ってるわよそれぐらい。見ればわかるわよそれくらい。
When she's like this, JB can't be stopped. Make one lame excuse, and it's like adding fuel to the fire. For however long, she'll scream and shout and throw whatever's within her reach, taking all her frustration out on other people until she finally starts crying. She'll sob, "No one understands what I go through," and then we'll have to say, "Ah, that's not true," over and over again, or else she'll never calm down. Maybe it's because she's usually so patient and tolerant, but when she explodes, there's no other way to stop her other than to slap her face and push her down on the bed. What the fuck?
ねえ朝子、どうして自分で仕事に行かないの？
Well, you see, JB, Asako is going blind in one eye and is losing feeling in her limbs. Not a very good sniper, if you ask me.
いや、今日のはあれだ。私が寝てる間にユージのやつが勝手にだな。
God damn it.
いや、悪いとは思ってんだぞ。
また体調のせい？この前の検診の結果報告がないけどどうだったの？
結果も何も受けなかったからな。
Well, JB's gonna be pissed for another reason.
ちょっと朝子。
大丈夫だってなんともねえよ。力だってまだあるぞ。ほれ。
うわ、ちょっと嘘。
Oh my god. I see. So that was an option too. As a means of shutting up JB, Asako dragged her into the hot bath.
嘘でしょ？これイタリアンスーツなんですけど。
Dude, is everyone's punching bag in this fucking company?
知るかよ。お前はどうも日本に来てから本物にこだわるようになったな。
JB is my superior, and on top of that, the case officer charged with supervising me. I'd never get away with pulling her into the bath fully clothed like that. No, that's just the nature of Asuko and JB's relationship. Something like that has to be earned. Asuko laughs mischievously at JB. Puffing out her cheeks in frustration, she starts ripping off her clothes despairingly. Oh my gosh, she's just gonna have the bath now, isn't she? Okay. Alright, good thing I put sexual themes on the guy's tag here.
そうそう、それでいい。あんな細けいことうだうだ考えてっと、シワが増えんぞ。
Whatever, I'm just gonna go for it.
誰のせいだと思ってんのよ。
そうだな、悪いのはお前じゃない。あー、ユージ、ビール持ってこいよ。
Oh my god.
呼んだか？
お、ビールのおかわりくれ。JB の分もな。
Oh my god!
しろよ。倒れるぞ。
たかがビールだぞ。ついでになんかつまみも作ってくれ。
Oh my god.
ジャグジーでシャンパンを飲むハリウッドセレブじゃあるまいし。
つかユージよ、お前も入れよ。
Okay, that is too... No.
冗談じゃない。そんな狭い風呂にでかい女が2人も入ってるのに、これ以上入れるか？
Yuji, run. Do not call them two huge women. Two massive women. You're... run.
あ、おいこら、ユージ。
風呂から出たらすぐ飯食えるように用意しておくから、さっさと出ろよ。JB の服は干して、着替え用意しておくから。
チェー、なんだよあいつ。恥ずかしがってんのか？
I don't know, two beautiful women in a bathtub? Yeah, make anyone nervous.
つかなんでお前がちょっと恥ずかしがってんだよ。裸見られるぐらい今更だろ。
Oh my god.
うるさいわね。
おい、いちいちお湯を飛ばすなよ。本が濡れるだろうが。
What books?
本？ほらそこ。本棚があるだろ。
You have a bookshelf in your bed. Okay.
なんでお風呂場の脱衣所に本棚なんて？
ユージが作ったんだよ。
そういえばトイレにも本棚があったわよね。
ああ、それもユージだ。あいつ、何でも好きな本を読めって言ったら結構な数の本を溜め込みやがってさ。買ったはいいけど読んでない本って結構あるだろ。特にハードカバー系な。そういう本を風呂場と便所の本棚に詰め込んでおくんだよ。そんで風呂とか便所のたびに詰め込んである本を読む。そうすると溜まってた未読本が結構な速度で減っていくんだわ、これが。
Fair enough.
お風呂で本なんか読んで本がダメになったりしないの？
Yes, absolutely.
私も結構風呂で本は読むが、今まで風呂に落としたことはないし、多少しけったところで腐りゃしねえよ。
まあいいけど、そんなことより朝子、あなた本当に大丈夫なの？
Nope, she's not alright.
ああ？
わかってるでしょ？あなたの体のことよ。
まあな。内容を選べばまだ仕事はできる。けどな、仕事を選ぶやつは仕事にも選ばれる。奪うやつは奪われる。殺すやつは殺される。自分だけが特別なんてことはない。あれがやりたい、これはやりたくないなんて言える立場じゃねえのは分かってる。
目はちゃんと見えているの？
今は見えてるが、時々電気を消したみてえにふっと右目が見えなくなることがある。
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
だからちゃんと検査を受けなさいっていつも。
こればっかりはいくら医者にかかってもな。検査を受けたところで前回からどれだけ悪くなったか思い知らされるだけだ。
でも
しょうがねえんだよ。これ
朝子、
そんな顔すんなよ。今日はすぐに落ちるわけじゃねえって。
うん。
それとこのことはユージには絶対言うなよ。
分かってる。でも
おい、女同士でいつまで風呂に使ってる気だ。晩飯の用意できたぞ。
おお、今出るよ。
Thank God.
お、なんだかうまそうな匂いだな。
Thank God that part's done. Fucking Grisaia, guys. Fucking Grisaia. You know? A little here. Okay. Alrighty. This is just more of what I expected from them. Guys, poor JB. Just poor JB. She had to put up with Asuko for so long with this kind of shit. And then she's got to put up with the same shit with Yuji. Being JB is kind of suffering.
Yeah, いいからとりあえず服を着てくれ。
Oh my god. Although Asuko never gets dressed without a reminder, she always takes dinner at the same time every day. At around 6:30, she begins drinking beer and snacking on pickled veg. At 7 p.m., she eats dinner. Obviously, she has another beer with her meal. Around 7:30 p.m., when she finishes dinner, she has yet another beer with a small snack. Recently, she's been into cold tofu topped with garlic and chili pepper, and a little fish fried in olive oil. I haven't seen her eat anything else for days. What the fuck kind of snack is that? Like, that's a lot for a snack. You're frying a fish? Like, you're frying a fucking fish? Also cold tofu, god damn.
あら、美味しい。これ、ユージが作ったの？
No, the Easter Bunny did. Of course he did.
まあ、あいつは料理本も読むからな。好きな本は何でも読めと言ったのは私だが、男が料理本を読むとかどうなんだ？
Don't judge.
いいじゃない。男が料理できても困ることなんてないでしょ？
I can cook. I can do pretty good.
お前が作ったものよりうまくてもか？
I don't think I can do better than more other people, though. I could do decently well.
下手に料理上手な男なんかと付き合ってみろ。多少頑張って手料理なんか作っても、あ、うん、としか言わないぞ。逆に普段ろくなもん食ってなくて、何食わせても目を向いてうまいっていう男が一番可愛いだろう。どう考えても。
それって料理ができない女はクソって言ってるのと同じじゃない？
私は料理できなくてもいいんだよ。私ね、ユージがいるからな。
Of course you do.
可愛くない女ね。
じゃあ逆にどんな女が可愛いってんだ？
そんなの男の数だけパターンがあるでしょうに。
おーいユージ、ちょっと来い。
Oh, great.
何？まだ洗い物が残ってるんだけど。
おいユージ、お前どんな女を可愛いと思う？
Big boobs. He's gonna say big boobs.
おい、心底抱きしたみてえなどうでも良さそうな顔すんじゃねえよ。
Well, I'm pretty sure I know how this conversation started out. Of course, Asuko may be boorish, blithe, kind of careless, and rough around the edges, but she's also cute in a way. In a way. But to explain it in 1 or 2 words would be a very difficult task indeed. In fact, it's much easier to explain a woman like JB, who's basically a collection of all of womankind's irritating quality. Holy fuck, dude! Oh my god, you're doing JB dirty! Dude! Holy shit! Fucking Yuji, man!
頭はいいのに何も知らない女。
は
Smart but doesn't know a thing.
JB ってさ、店で牛丼食ったことある？
ないけど。
俺は JB のそういうところ、
What?
可愛いなって思う。
What?
だよ、それ面白くねえな。もういいよ。さっさと洗い物の続きやってこい。シェッシェ。
What the fuck kind of answer are you expecting from him?
笑うな。そんでお前も年下のガキにちょっとした手応えみたいなもん感じて赤くなってんじゃねえよ。怖えよ。
怖えって何よ。
逆の立場で考えてみろよ。いい年したおっさんが美少女に素敵って言われてムフムフしてる面想像してみろ。怖い。いそう。キモい。だろ。だいたいお前はあいつに構いすぎなんだよ。それに服だ時計だって何でも買い与えすぎだ。
Asuko, you tried to feed Yuji a fucking deer dong. You don't get to say anything about what JB gets him.
いいじゃない。物を見る目ってのはいいものに触れて初めて養われるのよ。
ま、言いたいことはわかるけどな。金品で若者の機嫌を取るババアなんてどう思うよ。
寒い。
痛い。
惨めすぎる。
だろうが。
でも。
Hey, Golden, how's it going, buddy?
でもも機動隊もあるか。なんでもかんでもお前が構ってやってりゃ、あいつはお前がいなきゃ何もできないような男になるぞ。
One moment, guys. Sorry. Sorry about that. Apologies, but I'm back now. Back now. Hopefully be able to get through it.
それはそれでみたいな顔してんじゃねえ。親切ずらしてあいつの将来を狭めてんのはお前だぞ。
Thank you, thank you.
そうよね。ユージって私なんかいなくてもやれば一人で何でもできる子なのよね。
まあこの私が苦手はあっても不可能はない、そんな風に育ててるからな。
イラつくわね、そのドヤ顔。
おい、何キョロキョロしてんだよ。
いや、なんか殴るのにちょうど良さそうな棒でも落ちてないかなって。
物騒な女だな。
あなたには言われたくない。でもさ、そう考えるとユージには将来の選択肢はたくさんあるのよ。それを何もわざわざサーズなんかに入れなくても、あの子なら他のどんな仕事でも。
またその話かよ。それならもうユージ本人が結論出しただろうがよ。
それはそうなんだけど。
何の話？
おう、洗い物は終わったのか？
うん、コーヒー入れた。
気が利くじゃねえか。お前はいい兵隊になるぞ。
だから
うるせえな。資格を取りゃ文句ねえんだろ。おいユージよ、 JB がうるさいからお前さっさと資格取ってこいよ。
簡単に言わないで。資格を取るにしてもお金がかかるのよ。そのお金はどこから出て誰が工面すると思ってるのよ。
金の話なんざ聞きたかねえな。そういうのはお前らスーツ組で勝手にやれよ。
ねえユージ、あなた本当にいいの？
言ったと思うけど、俺の将来は俺が決めるよ。別に朝子の言いなりになるつもりもないし、JB に心配をかけるつもりもない。
But I'm gonna take after Osco completely.
分かっちゃいねえな。心配するなと言われれば心配するのが女なんだよ。
めんどくさいな。
当たり前だろ。心配だの愛情だの、頼んでもいないのに押し付けてくるのが女って生き物だ。
なるほど。
ちょっとユージに変な偏見を植え付けないでくれる？
No wonder he's so weird with women.
だいたい JB よ。お前はユージには愛情が足りないとか思ってるだろうが、実はそうでもないんじゃねえか？
俺の場合、姉には必要以上に愛されていたし、朝子も JB も形は違っても俺を愛してくれているとは感じてる。
So I gotta keep an ear out for the dogs now, specifically Blue. Just in case. Hopefully he settles down. He had a nice little run from the interruption we just had. Just visitors quick. Which, yeah, of course they had to come like close to 8. Oh, whatever. Sounds like he's lying down, so we should be okay for a bit. Hopefully.
ただ、その感情をどう受け止めればいいのかわからない。この気持ちをずっと失いたくないとは思っていても、どうすればいいのかわからないだけだ。
So he doesn't want to lose the feeling of being loved and having affection, but he doesn't know how to manage getting it.
ユージ。
Yeah, he's a messed up kid. We knew this from the beginning.
なーに、難しく考えることはない。愛されたければまず愛することだ。相手を、そして自分を。
自分を？
お前はちゃんと自分を愛せているか？自分を好きになれないやつは誰からも好きになってもらえない。
Yeah, I don't think he likes himself.
たとえ好きになってもらえたとしても、それを素直に受け取れないし、 それを自分で壊してしまうからだ。そんなことを何度も繰り返しているとこういう女になる。
Why is JB the butt of jokes?
私をオチに使うのやめてもらっていいかな。
Oh, poor JB. She does not deserve this. Asako and JB always fight like this. From what I hear, the two of them have been like that since they were kids. They're totally inseparable. Though I admire them for remaining friends for so long, given the way they behave toward each other. I think the fact that they can be so open about what they think just actually proves how deep their friendship is. It may seem surprising, but when they've had a fight and the air needs clearing, it's always Asako who's the first to give in.
おいユージ、お前ちょっと JB のケツでも撫でて機嫌取ってこいよ。
Why?
嫌だよ。自業自得だろ。自分で何とかしなよ。厄介事を全部俺に振るな。
バッカおめえ。こういう時は私がどうこうするより、男のお前が間に入った方がうまくいくんだって。
Clearly being blonde to Grisaia equals your target. That's just like so true. Michiru and JB have been the butt of jokes. So much. Michiru gets it worse though. She gets a lot of physical, like, pain, violence. But a lot of it is also self-inflicted because she's just straight up dumb. I mean, she does, you know, act dumb, but still. A lot of it is acting dumb. But, Just gonna quickly sneak up and see what the dogs are doing.
.そもそも機嫌が悪い時の JB は話なんか聞いてくれないじゃないか。
そこをなんとかするのが男だろ。だいたい私が寝てる隙にお前が勝手に仕事に行くから。
I'm gonna save just in case. Unfortunately, there's no thing that says whether or not how far along we are.
わかったわかった。なんとかするから。
Women really are a pain in the neck. Rub them the wrong way just once, and they won't listen to anything you have to say. My sister was the same. I was so often a disappointment to my sister, and at times she wouldn't listen to me at all. When that happened, I would ask her, "Oni-chan, do you still love me?" Or One-chan, One-chan. One-chan is big sister, Oni-chan is big brother. Depending on my sister's answer, I could decide how to go ahead and address the issue at hand. But JB is a little different.
いや、JB。
何よ。朝子に言われて私の機嫌でも取りに来たの？
いや、朝子はほっとけって言うんだけど、こんな時、俺はどっちのそばにいるべきかなって考えて、
Oh, Yuji.
JB のそばにいることにした。
You smooth talker, you.
どういう風の吹き回し？
ただの気まぐれだ。深い意味はない。
そう。何か話があるんじゃないの？
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck to say. Have you met me?
あのさ、JB って好きな男っているの？は？
Based on my limited experience, women will more often than not answer this question in one of three ways. 1. They'll answer in affirmative, yes, there is. 2. They'll answer in the negative, no, there isn't. 3. They withhold their answer to the question and instead turn it back on you. Huh? Why? Most answers fall into one of these three patterns. However she responds, I'll direct her towards answer number 3. Now then, how will JB answer? Well, so much for me thinking there wasn't going to be choices.
セーブだ。
Are you fucking kidding me? And there goes blue. Whatever. Well, I said he's gonna direct her towards this choice, so might as well just go for it. Just go, huh? Why?
どうして？
God damn it, of course there were fucking choices.
いや、別に。ただ、そいつがちょっと羨ましいなって、それだけだよ。変なこと聞いてごめん。
いいけど。
それで、あのさ、俺の話聞いてもらえるか？
何よ。
俺はまだまだガキだし、うまく言えないけど、いつだって JB には感謝してる。それを理解した上で聞いてほしいんだけど、あまり朝子を責めないでやってくれないか？
私だって言いたくて言ってるわけじゃないわ。でも仕事の資格が取れるまでは仕事はさせないって約束だったでしょ？
Uh-huh.
今日の仕事のことは朝子は本当に知らなかったんだ。朝子が寝ている間に俺が勝手に受礼して俺の一存で代行した。
成功したから良かったものの、失敗してたらあなた一人で背負える責任ではないのよ。
分かってる。ごめん。
Yeah, you better be sorry, dude. You could have fucked everything up.
それでも多分、俺はこれからも JB には迷惑とか心配はかけると思う。ごめんな。諦めてくれ。
Oh, we know you're gonna be a problem for her.
あなたね。それってニコニコしながら言うこと？
ダメか？そうだな。じゃあ、3回までは許してくれる
？3 strikes, huh? 3 strikes? Okay, I'm just gonna do something for myself really fast. Just gonna check something. Oh, boy. Okay, good Christ. I think this might actually take more than I thought to go through. Jesus Christ, I'm seeing... Oh my god. Oh my god, someone's got a thing on here that it took them over 3 hours. I'm not gonna be able to do that. Shit. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to change up my plan, guys. I'm gonna have to change up my plan.
セーブだ。
Unfortunately. Damn it! It said it would take like 2 hours. Fuck. I think if I didn't have that interruption in between, I would have gotten a little further, so... I'm just gonna play it safe right now, and also because the blue's being kind of a bit of a dickbag. Just whining for no reason. So, we're not gonna finish Afterglow today. I'm gonna have to change the schedule, unfortunately. Kinda sucks. So Afterglow is gonna be in 2 parts now. Hopefully just 2 parts, and hopefully tomorrow I don't get interrupted. So, yeah, instead of Melody of Grisaia tomorrow, it's going to be Afterglow of Grisaia. I'll also try to remember to do the spicy noodles. I will try to remember to do spicy noodles. Hopefully I can do that tomorrow. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. We'll see. We'll see, we'll see. So, yeah, I'll work on the schedule for next week, so I'm going to throw Melody of Grisaia into next week then, and I'll plan for probably 2 streams of that, just in case as well. I thought they would only take 1 like Leisure, and I was wrong, and now I feel dumb. But, whatever, is what it is. It is what it is. Now I gotta make a thumbnail for this, with part 1, part 2, all that stuff again. Alright. Okay. So, yeah. I'll just snooze the ad. So, yeah. I thought I'd get a little further, but just because circumstances, I can't. I'm definitely not gonna be able to finish it tonight. God damn it. Some days I wish we still didn't have Blue because he just still needs a lot of attention right now. But it'll get better over time. Eventually he'll learn to stop whining for every little tiny thing. For no reason. But yeah. So, sorry. But still, we're doing more Grisaia tomorrow at least. Still more Grisaia tomorrow. Anyway. So, yeah, thank you everybody for watching, commenting, lurking. Appreciate it very, very much. Yeah, we're gonna be back again, you know, tomorrow, about 6-ish, to hopefully finish off Afterglow. Hopefully. So, I hope you all have yourselves a great rest of your night, and I'll see you next time.